Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are new here, I am Melanie, and today we are diving into one of the biggest questions that we get from people planning for retirement. That is, should you take Social Security early at 62, wait until your full retirement age, or even delay that all the way to age 70? So I know we are in our 50s and this is a little ways off for us, but with all the questions that we've got and the fact that we are working on our retirement plan, we thought this was a really good thing to look into. So here's what we found. First of all, everyone's situation is different, but the decision has a huge impact on your long-term financial security. So in this video, I will walk you through how Social Security really works and what's changing for each generation, and how savings, your health, and your life expectancy all ties into it. We'll also show you how Keith and I are approaching our own Social Security plan, including our superhero account, our Roth Conversions starting in 2027, and how we are aiming for the age of 67, not 70 at this point. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about how Social Security works and why your generation matters. So, Social Security is designed to replace part of your income once you stop working, and your benefit is based off your 35 highest earning years adjusted for inflation. Now, your full retirement age, or your FRA, determines when you get 100% of that benefit. And this is where generation really matters. So for most baby boomers, FRA is 66, and for Gen X, like my husband and I, it's 67. And for our kids, it'll likely move to 70. So that shift alone means that our kids could be working 3 or 4 extra years before they can qualify for their full benefits. So your generation and your level of preparation both shape your options. So if you were born in 1955, you're playing by one set of rules. And if you were born in 1975, a completely different set of rules. And by the time our children reach their 60s, the system itself may have been tweaked again. So if you claim early at 62, your benefit is permanently cut by about 30% less. And if you delay beyond your FRA, it grows roughly 8% a year until age 70. So that's the math part of it. But real life is more than just math. Most people don't want to wait until they're 70, neither do we. And for us, 67 is the balance between maximizing our income and enjoying those early retirement years while we are healthy and active. Then there is the break-even myth. You've probably heard about the break-even age, usually the age 78 to 81, when waiting supposedly starts to win. But here's the problem. No one knows how long they are going to live. So if you live a long life, delaying does win. If not, taking it early wins. The truth is that the break-even point is interesting for charts, but useless for a peace of mind. What really matters is how your benefits fit into your bigger picture. Your spending, your savings, and your confidence that the bills will be paid no matter what the market does. Now, your savings changes everything. So let's look at how savings changes your decision. So if you have $0 saved for your retirement, you may need to take Social Security early just to cover your essentials. If you have $250K saved, you can bridge a few years and delay to about 67 for a higher lifelong income. If you have $500K, you can have flexibility. You can delay while using savings and part-time work if you wanted to. And at $1 million, you can afford to wait longer if you choose, but you may not need to. So when you have a nest egg, Social Security becomes one of the pieces of your puzzle, not your whole paycheck. And without savings, Social Security is your paycheck. So let's talk about the average American savings. Here is a reality check. According to the Federal Reserve's, Americans aged 55 to 64 have a median of about $185,000 saved for their retirement. So for 65 to 74, it's roughly $200,000 to $225,000. That means half have less than that. So at a safe 4% withdrawal rate, that's only about $8,000 per year, or roughly $700 a month of income. And that's just not enough for pretty much everyone. So it's easy to see why most people claim Social Security early, because they have to. And that's okay. But if you could build savings ahead of time, even a modest bridge account can give you options that most retirees don't have. So here is what Keith and I are planning on doing. We don't want the 30% permanent cut. So our plan is to bridge those early years using our own savings. And that's what we call our superhero account. So this account that will carry us from 2026 through 2037. We expect to begin taking Social Security at age 67, not 70 at this point. So that's our balance point for us. We get the full benefit, but we don't have to postpone the fun years of early retirement. So right now, our superhero account sits at about $410,000. Starting in 2026, we plan to withdraw roughly $50,000 per year to cover our living expenses. And that is also our travel, insurance, and everything in between. Even with those withdrawals, we are expecting a 5 to 7% annual return. And since this account is a mix of stock funds, short-term bonds, and cash reserves, it is doable. So that means that this account should last comfortably until around 2037, or about 11 years of income for us. I've included this line chart that starts at $410,000 in 2025. Dipping gradually to near zero by 2037 with two projection lines. One is for the 5% and one is for the 7%. So we also have withdrawals beginning $50,000 per year in 2026. And at 2037, our Social Security bridge is complete. So this chart helps people see how planned drawdown strategies give confidence instead of fear about spending during our early retirement savings. Your health and life expectancy is also another key part into this. Your health changes everything. So if your health isn't great or longevity is short in your family, then taking those benefits early might be the best move for you. But if you expect to live well into your 80s or 90s, waiting until 67 can mean decades of higher inflation-adjusted income. So think of it as a guaranteed inflation-protected annuity, something that few investments can match. Now let's unpack the scary headlines that Social Security will be insolvent by 2035. Here's the truth. Social Security is funded by payroll taxes. And so for decades, more money came in than was going out, and that was creating a trust fund reserve. And yes, by 2035, that reserve could be depleted if Congress does nothing. But ongoing payroll taxes will still cover about 75 to 80% of the benefits. So the system isn't going broke, it's just underfunded. Now, if nothing changes, benefits could be cut by 20 to 25% across the board. But history shows that that won't happen because politicians know how unpopular that would be. So some possible fixes do include raising or removing the income cap on payroll taxes, or gradually increasing the FRA for younger generations, or even adjusting benefits for higher income retirees. So boomers are largely protected. Gen X, like myself, may see some small tweaks, and our kids will probably see their full retirement age pushed to age 70 and maybe a little more taxation on their benefits. So yes, change is coming. There's nothing we can do about it. But the program isn't disappearing. So the takeaway, plan realistically, stay flexible, and don't base your decisions on fear. I'd also like to address a few popular questions that we came across while researching Social Security, and then also talk a little bit about our Roth conversion plan. So the first question is, can I work while collecting? The answer is yes, but before your full retirement age, there is an earnings limit, and after that, there is no limit. The next one is, will my benefits be taxed? Yes, they can be, up to 85%, and that is going to depend on your income while you are collecting Social Security. The next one is, what about spousal benefits? So your spouse can receive up to 50% of your benefits, so delaying will boost your survivor's amount. And the last one, can I retire early but delay my Social Security? Absolutely. That's what we are planning on doing. And then starting in 2027, we will begin our Roth conversions from Keith's 401k rollover while our income is lower. So that means that we will be paying taxes now at a lower rate and enjoy the tax-free income later. So doing this before Social Security begins reduces our future required minimum distributions. And that's going to help keep our tax bracket lower once our benefits do start. And that's going to give us flexibility if the tax rate does rise. So in other words, we are using our bridge years not just to live, but to optimize our long-term tax plan. So when should you take Social Security? There is no single answer. It really, really depends on your savings, your health, your generation, and your peace of mind. If you need it early, that's okay. Take it, that's what it is there for. But if you can wait, even just to 67, you will strengthen your lifetime benefits. Now for us, 67 seemed to be that perfect balance. We're not gonna wait until we're 70 at this point. And our superhero account bridges the gap that we need between that time, and then our Roth conversions build tax-free income for later. If this video has helped you think differently about Social Security, please hit like. It really helps the channel grow. And let us know in the comments, are you planning on taking Social Security early, or are you going to wait until your full retirement age like we are? Also, if you are currently on Social Security, what has worked best for you, or what do you wish that you would have done differently? We would like to feature some of your stories in some future videos. So thanks for watching, friends, and remember, design the retirement that fits you.